it's time for more update news and Brawl theories. We got some interesting stuff going on in Brawl Stars. This time, potential news on the new Brawler maybe coming to Brawl Stars and the rarity that it could be. The final environment coming to Brawl Stars. A potential new game mode being added or maybe removed. And more. Let's do it. Now in this video, there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle that we gotta put together, and they're all really important. So make sure you stick around to the end to see how this all fits together. All right, the first piece of Brawl news concerns the Brawl environment and why I am pretty confident we are getting the final environment added to Brawl Stars in this next update. Now, this bit of info is actually found on Reddit, so props to Nadoadic. I definitely said that wrong. I apologize. But if you actually go back to a review that was done in the App Store, not a review, but like an interview that was posted in the App Store from Brawl Stars. First off, right here, Metropolis is a new world. Then how many others are there in the game? And this is answered. Brawl Stars game artist says existing characters come from 7 different worlds. 7. Now, if we go in-game and look at the environments we've already gotten, first off, we have 8-Bits Arcade. We have Bull's Diner. We have Tara's Bazaar, also Mortis's Mortuary, Daryl's Ship, and Max's Arena. 6 environments. Now there's also some other ones, but I kind of think they're more the default environments and they're not exactly attributed to any specific brawler. So I don't think those necessarily count, but 6 environments are attributed to brawlers, and that presumes the 7th and final environment will be coming in this next update. And another reason I think this is Brawl Stars has been dropping a lot of different clues and hints recently that we've gone over in prior videos, and it really seems like they're leading up to a final reveal. Now, one recent theory that a lot of people have been throwing around is that Brawl Stars environment is a theme park and everything is connected together. This was recently further supported by Frank, the team lead, on Twitter, tweeting out this image here, which actually has a lot of like rides in the background, which we've never really seen before, and it definitely seems like it's on purpose. You don't tweet something like this out for no reason, right? They made this background specifically for this animation, and I mean, it definitely looks like stuff you would see in a theme park. Now, further supporting this theory, another person on Reddit, Goldstar, found this out. In Bull's Diner, actually, you can see right here some letters, but that are kind of hard to tell what they are. But if you reverse them, they actually spell Metropolis, and you can also see right there, there's like the boomerang in Bull's Diner, and then in Barley's Tavern, you can see that reversed, and you can actually see that it spells out Metropolis. So those two sort of environments are right next to each other and are connected. All right, now we're gonna delve into some very cryptic stuff, which I think teases some stuff about the new Brawler potentially and maybe the new environment. First of all, going to develop art. I mean, shout out to him. You guys have seen him in a lot of my Brawl Theories videos because he is definitely one of the proponents of a lot of these Brawl theories. Look at these sounds that were newly found on the WKBRL stream that has been going on. All right, take a listen. And then it's mostly static after this, but the beginning is super interesting. I mean, you can hear sirens, a lot of explosions. You can hear what sounds like a shotgun, something else that sounded like maybe another sort of gun here. I think around 6 seconds. Shotgun. Oh, right there, actually, 3. It was like a sort of thing. Maybe like an electric type of gun or a shotgun. Right there. I don't know, very interesting sound for what it could be. Now, I'm going to talk about what I think these sounds mean in a little bit after we go over some more clues to help put together the puzzle. Also, there was another interesting sound that was discovered a little bit later. Just listen. Let's see. Let's listen again. What is that? Sounds like maybe a robot of some sort or an alien, potentially, and it only leads me to believe maybe that's some sort of sound coming from the potential new brawler coming to Brawl Stars. I mean, it definitely doesn't sound like anything already in the game. By the way, one interesting thing to note is those siren and explosion sounds you heard actually sound very similar to sounds that were in a Brawl Stars video on the official channel that was released back in July of 2019. Just go ahead and listen from the Doomsday-ish. You can hear the sirens, some explosions, sort of. And that's about where the similarities stop. Now, personally, after listening to this a couple times, I kind of thought it did sound a little bit different. I thought the siren sounded the exact same. And my main thought was that, okay, they had a siren sound and they just kind of ended up reusing it on the WKBRL. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Or it could just be it's the same sort of siren from the Brawl universe in both places. Now, you know, why is there a siren going on? Is that police or is that ambulance? Well, in this case, it seems like it would be more like an ambulance type, so maybe that's what it is. But it is interesting to know. By the way, this is where I think maybe we know the rarity possibly of the next new brawler, because there was a sound, and this was of course found by developer. There was a sound on the WKBR stream which sounded like the sound of unlocking a legendary. Listen in. First, sound of unlocking a legendary. I mean, hopefully we've all heard it before, right? And then from the WKBRL stream, now listen in because it does sound distorted, but they're trying to make it hard to find, right? Sort of right there. Da, da, da. I probably shouldn't have done that. All right, so far we know there's a 7th and final environment coming to Brawl Stars probably in this next update. There's maybe a new brawler that has an alien or robotic sound. And there's also something that's causing a lot of explosions, sirens, and gunshots. Now moving on, let's go to this image that Brawl Stars tweeted out on June 8th and was also live in game. Now there's a couple interesting things with this image. You've probably seen it, and the most interesting one is of course this calendar right here, which has a date circled. Now it's the 27th square on that calendar, so a lot of people are leading to believe the next update will be on the 27th. And that kind of makes some sense, maybe? If you think about it, the Brawl Pass, I believe, ends on July 6th. So it would mean about 3 weeks after that would be when the next update comes, or maybe it's even when the next Brawl Talk is, and I believe that would actually be on a Sunday, which typically Brawl Talk usually does release on the weekend, so there's definitely some stuff to support that. But more interestingly, someone on Reddit found a connection between Max and the Junker family. Shout out to Lemon Bubble for this. Didn't get a lot of upvotes, but maybe deserved, should have been. I mean, you can talk about the effects. Some of these are a little bit of a stretch, right? He talked about how some of the shot effects are similar. Okay, that is kind of true. What I think is actually more interesting is you can see design similarities between their default skins. I mean, first of all, the belt on Max is almost identical to the belt on Pam and the belt on Jessie. And you can also go and look at the new Red Dragon Jessie skin has the lightning bolt that you see on Max's costume as well. Now to me, one of the final pieces to the puzzle is one of the recent Supercell Make campaigns that Supercell ran. There was a hero and villain campaign, and I think that's a big indicator of what could be coming in this next update. Maybe we're getting a hero or villain theme. Of course, we're having Arch Villain B and Zombie coming, both villain skins notably, and also we're still waiting on Demonic Bow, which I think would be safe to assume it's coming in the next update since it was announced as a winner a long time ago, so they've definitely had a lot of time to work on that and finish it. So I would assume it's finished and they were just waiting for the right time to release it, aka a hero or villain themed update. Another super interesting thing to support it, of course, found on Reddit is what is up with the sword in Merchant Gale's pack. And not to mention that, also the little potion this is where I think there is a hero coming to the game who's going to use that sword and that potion. Now, I'll talk about what abilities I think that hero has, but let's put everything together. First off, the overall theme. We know that Brawl Stars seems like an amusement park and everything together is connected. Now, going back to those sounds, all those explosions and sirens going on, and then putting that together with the villains that we know are coming to Brawl Stars, my thought is those villains attack the theme park, and then the heroes have to come and defend it. We got Max, and there's as a potential hero, and also there's Heroine BB, maybe, although that one's more of a stretch since it's just a skin, but I still think it's definitely worth included. And then the new hero or heroic brawler that is potentially coming using that sword and the potion that are going to try and defend the theme park. And also, just to talk about the potential abilities of that hero, which I think would be very unique and kind of make more sense. I mean, obviously with a sword, it's a melee type brawler. My guess is it has something like 5,000 to 6,000 health. And then what about the potion? I actually had a thought for what this could be, and I think it's the hero's super, and it is a potion that just heals themselves up. We have a lot of healing brawlers, but we don't have any brawler who specifically heals themselves up a ton. Now, there's some abilities like that with gadgets and star powers, but I think it's an ability that like heals themselves up like 5,000 health. It's a different way to be an incredibly tanky brawler, and not have a lot of health, but still have the ability to be very tanky with the super. I think this could be a unique ability as a sword melee brawler, maybe a defender of sorts that would be fitting for Brawl Stars. But wait, the update news doesn't stop there. You might have noticed in the new Red Dragon Jesse animation, Bull is carrying a save. What? Why? Everything Brawl Stars does is on purpose, so it has to have important meaning in my opinion. There's a couple things it could maybe mean, right? Maybe Heist is getting removed. But that seems pretty unlikely. We've seen a lot of stats for how well Heist does, and it never seemed like it was one of the worst modes. If anything, Siege might be removed. That is definitely possible. But what I think it really is a new payload type game mode is coming to Brawl Stars in the next update, where there is a moving safe that you either have to defend as one team or attack as the other, which is sort of what's going on here. One team is defending the safe, Bull's team, and the other team is trying to attack it as they run away. Sort of as an aside, but also Brawl Stars hasn't had a new game mode in a long time, so I actually think it's about time that they add a new one, sort of further supporting this. I mean, they've added back some old modes, but that doesn't really count, right? By the way, since Supercell seems to like taking community ideas and adding them in-game in a lot of different ways, I wanted to find some ideas for a potential hero brawler that could be the closest to what might actually come. First off, look at this Warrior BB skin that was done for the Supercell Make campaign. Now, I know obviously it wouldn't be like BB, and BB is a part of Bull, the biker family, but it could also be some sort of hero sword-like brawler. If it were a sword-wielding brawler, I honestly think it would be pretty similar looking to this one. But maybe more realistic, especially since we heard that sound that looked like a robot. What about this one? Has a sword, has a shield, and there was a robot like sound that was teased on WKBRL, so maybe this is an even more realistic idea. Well, make sure to check out more great Brawl Stars content right over there, but that is going to be it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and hope everyone's doing well right now, and I'll catch you later. Peace.